Do you really need a 2.5 liter engine for a crossover SUV of this size? Fancy caliper right there, everyone. It's black leather with red stitching, and you get Alcantara. Hello everyone, make no mistakes, this is a Ford Kuga and it has seen massive improvements. This over here is the third generation Ford Kuga. The first two generations were horrible. Quality problems and reliability problems. Basically, they just were not desirable enough, although they were quite family friendly. This one is more promising and more desirable than ever. This Ford Kuga has seen a rather small facelift, guys, which means more interesting options and more interesting packages. This is a Ford Kuga ST line with the black pack. I know, right? Fancy name. Black pack, so which means you get black alloys. Now it should be noted that Ford is not new to the crossover SUV business. In fact, the Americans were the ones that gave birth to the crossover SUV segment, starting with the AMC Eagle. Another thing that should be noted, everyone, is that for a long time there was a big rift between Ford North America and Ford Europe. Now this rift has been sealing thanks to certain groundbreaking models like the Ford Mustang, the Ford Ranger Raptor, and also the Ford Focus that's just seen a new generation and it looked wonderful. The design, guys, more American than ever. But some Ford models have been cursed with not getting to the other side of this rift. This Ford Puma is just one of the victims. It has not been able to cross that rift. It's stuck in Ford Europe. Is it questionable or not? You all be the judge. Now this Ford Kuga costs 54,000 euros. Is it good value for money or not? We're gonna find out in a moment, everyone. Now there's one bit of information you all need to be aware of. Depending on what part of the world you're all from, you can achieve having reductions for this Ford Kuga. So instead of paying 45,000 euros, there's a good chance you could have it at 46,000 euros. But this again depends on where you're from, and this also depends on the season. What are the deals of the season? Over here is a hybrid petrol engine, everyone. A plug-in hybrid petrol which produces 165 kilowatts. Sounds great, guys. Sounds very economic. But there's already one question I see right here. Do you really need a 2.5 liter engine for a crossover SUV of this size and segment? I mean, it does explain the price tag, guys, but 2.5 liters. Now, this is an American aspect of it, so I'm assuming this would be good for cruising, because I know American car manufacturers in North America, they like to give massive engines to every single of their vehicles, but that's because cruising is a necessity. Here in the EU market, cruising is a choice. So when you go on road trips, basically, so from Brussels to Paris or from Brussels to Berlin, this is cruising for you all. Now, the thing to note is that when it comes to taxation, it's not going to be very easy. I just mentioned, everyone, this Ford Kuga is stuck on the other side of the rift. They're still stuck with Ford Europe, and the reason I'm saying this is because they still have this Aston Martin-like grille. They've not changed the design to having a Ford grille where the badge lies right in the middle of the grille. Is this questionable or not? In my opinion, it should have been maybe like that display should have seen a bit of a facelift because it would have been more original, whereas this is like an imitation of Aston Martin. But then it could be seen that this could be a reference to the Ford Puma. The Ford Puma was perceived as a sporty crossover SUV for Ford, and I did mention that the Ford Puma was like a small sports car in disguise of a crossover SUV. So I guess Ford was trying to bring that concept with the Kuga, and it's right here, guys. Now, this particular Ford Kuga has the black pack, and it's very evident with the black alloys and that fancy caliper right there, everyone. Look at this. Do you really need red calipers for a Ford? You all be the judge, but this is an ST line, so there's a good reason why that caliper is right there with the black alloys and this nice tire. Wonderful. And then you get black paintwork right down there. Another thing that should be noted is that the rear bumper is more conspicuous. It sticks out, guys. This is like something I haven't really noticed about the Kuga before. This is like the rear design. And then another thing is that the model name is written in black as well. That's another aspect. And you get proud exhausts that are just as fancy as that you would see on the Ford Mustang. actual exhausts, everyone. Nothing pretentious. Now this is the most American aspect of it. Now I have some great news to tell you all. You get front parking sensors, rear parking sensors, 360-degree parking camera, everyone. Now whilst exploring the Ford Kuga from the exterior, guys, I already noticed some questions. First question I would like to point out is that despite the proud sporty theme, the black pack and the ST line, you do not get an actual air vent right here, everyone. Like, you get this bit of the trim that has no purpose whatsoever. The bonnet doesn't appear to be aligned properly. Like, over here, you see the bonnet goes a bit over the bodywork. Like, it's just not properly aligned. And it gets even more conspicuous as we approach the other side. It looks as if the bodywork is above the bonnet, or the bonnet is beneath the bodywork. You can see carefully. Now, it is time to explore the interior of the Ford Kuga. Now let's just take a moment and admire the seats, guys. So you get nice ST line seats, guys, black leather with red stitching, and you get Alcantara on the middle. The interior of the Ford Kuga, it looks very much alike what I saw in the Ford Focus. One thing I've noticed that you get this trim right here that looks like an imitation of wood, but it's plastic and it doesn't have the color of wood anyways. It's right here. And you also have it on the door. It's right here as well. Ford likes to do really good presentations with the window buttons. Like, they show at least the most enthusiasm at the moment. And I'm saying this because some competitors don't even care about the window buttons. Ford tends to put a lot of emphasis on details. Very good. And even though they use hard plastic as well as much as others, but they tend to be very stylish about it. So it's appealing, guys. Hard plastic is not bad. It's very beneficial in long terms. It's easy to maintain, easy to wipe clean. You get this wonderful trim right here that looks like an imitation of carbon fiber, but it's actually not. I mean, look at this. Upon closer inspection, it is not carbon fiber, but it looks nice. I mean, it pairs well with the ST theme. Here is your climate control, everyone. Infotainment system, it's rather small. Yeah, that's already problematic. Otherwise, you get a digital instrument cluster. That's fancy. Nice steering wheel, everyone. Now, the steering wheel is, because this is a black pack with the ST line, it's rather nice. It's squidgy and everything. You get red stitching on it. No hard plastic on the door, almost, guys. Like, here it's leather, here it's leather, here it's squidgy plastic. Now, the start-stop button is positioned in such a way that you can actually start your vehicle like this. So put your hands right here and start it with your thumb like this. Or I would just do it like this. Ta-da! Out of all the other car manufacturers, it should be noted that Ford likes to put their lighting controls right here. The headlight controls and everything, fog lights and everything. Whereas other manufacturers would put it right on the stoke here. Now, Ford has a simple stoke. This stoke is only for the indicator, and this one is for your wipers, but that's already something you know. But yeah, like, the unique concept right here. But I know Volkswagen also likes to put everything apart. Now, it's not enough to have a stylish interior, everyone. We have to cover practicality. Now, over here is a 12-volt socket, USB point, nice storage space right here for your telephone, everyone. It is nice and deep. Now, you get two cup holders here, but you could probably use the middle one for a Red Bull can or something. Now, glove box right here, guys. The glove box is of, a bit average for its price and segment, although I was expecting it to be deep. Little storage space right here. You could use it for your telephone or something. You all be the judge. Otherwise, you get a central console storage, which is adjustable. So this is the shallow part where you can put little things like coins. You get the deep part of the central console. Now, the central console is not very deep because it's obstructed by a bit of the plastic or something. And it has no USB point, no 12-volt socket in there. Now, the door bin is rather funny, guys. It looks small, but don't let that fool you right away. I don't know if it can fit a big water bottle or not because it looks diagonal. So I'm assuming the bottle will lie diagonally, leaning onto this. Otherwise, there's a little storage space right here, space for your small bottle. And over here, it's deep. It's actually very deep. So, like, this whole thing is a pocket. That's creative, but it just wasn't really well implemented. Like, wait, let's see. I'm a driver, so how am I supposed to reach... Now, whilst exploring the interior of this Ford Kuga, I also noticed some problems, guys. The first problem I'd like to point out is 54,000 euros. You do get a small infotainment system. Like, the size of the screen is very small. This is something I'd expect on a base version or something. 54,000 euros does not let you have a sunroof or a panoramic roof. And you do not even get a storage space up here for sunglasses. Now, it is time to explore the rear seats of the Ford Kuga, everyone. Legroom wonderful. Knee room, wonderful. And again, it all depends on the seating adjustment of the front driver and the front passenger. Headroom is wonderful. I have a lot of headroom. Headrest is a bit on the firm side. I'd say it's 50-50. Now it is important we check out the armrest, everyone. This armrest is easy to pull down. Nice strap here. And you get 2 cup holders. And you get this little thingy right here. So it's like an adjustment, guys. This is convenient. A bit of more details invested for the cup holders. Well done, Ford. Because it's too dark in the back, we need some beacon of hope in the darkness. And it's right here, guys, and right there. But the good news is we get beacons of hope. But the bad news is we cannot activate them ourselves. We have to trust the front to lighten the beacon. Just when I thought there was some hope, guys. Otherwise, you do get handle right here, and you do get a... Oh, right, nice hook right here, but it folds with the handle. Oh, it's a good concept. Oh, you get heated rear seats, guys. Now, this is a rather premium experience, and I forgot to mention you get heated front seats. Wow, wonderful. And heated steering wheel as well. So many things I forgot to mention about the front. Anyways, apologies for that. You do get air vents for the rear, but no climate control. So you have to trust the driver and the front passenger to be rather friendly if you want your favored climate. Now the rear seat pocket is wonderful, guys. Both seats get rear seat pockets. Now door bin is surprisingly really good. Like, this is one of the best door bins I've ever seen in the crossover SUV of this price and segment. And especially the size, guys. It's wonderful. It's really nice and deep, because most manufacturers don't really offer crossover SUVs with this door bin size. Now it is time to explore the boot space of the Ford Kuga, but just already one thing you have to remark, guys, is that the handle is right here underneath. It took me 1 minute to realize that. I was always thinking it was right there, but something I have to get used to. And it is electric, so that's already one advantage. I see some great benefits, guys. This LED light is wonderful. It's as bright as a stadium in the United States of America, guys. It's like a baseball stadium. You get latches right here to pull the rear seats down. Now, the space in the rear looks a bit small compared to what competitors would usually offer, especially from above. Like, from above, it gets very narrow, so there's not enough space. But as you go downwards, plentiful space. Tether points right here, right there, and right here. And you get a 12-volt socket and a nice hook, so that's already an advantage. So here's my conclusion of the Ford Kuga, guys. I have to say that this Ford Kuga is one of the most promising competitors in the automotive industry, primarily because Ford has a reputation for driving pleasure in the mass market, something which not many other competitors really offer. It should be noted that this Ford Kuga is also technically advanced, guys. Who would have thought it would be equipped with a hybrid petrol engine? A plug-in hybrid petrol engine, guys. Very economic. But there's one very big question. I was very impressed, first of all, with everything about this car. The equipment list, the design, and how appealing it was. But the biggest problem was the engine size. 2.5 liter. Do you really need a 2.5 liter? I know I sure don't. For a price of 54,000 euros, is this Ford Kuga good value for money or not? I have to say, it is great value for money. It's not the best, but it is just great. It is good. Because the thing is that I was very impressed with the equipment list. It was very nicely equipped and everything. Ford did a brilliant job with most of it. Just I was also thinking about the front. Like, they should have abandoned the Aston Martin style and stick to some Ford theme, or make it look more American or something. But that's fine, guys. But there were some questions, and there were some problems. The problem was that there was no sunroof or panoramic roof for its price, and also there were some storage spaces that was missing, like the storage space that's usually above. But again, as I've emphasized before, the biggest problem is the 2.5 hybrid petrol engine, guys. Very contradictory. You don't need a massive engine with a hybrid petrol, because it just doesn't pair well, in my opinion. But it has seen success in the North American market. There's a reason why it exists. In the North American market, it saw success. But here in the EU market, it doesn't really make much sense when you have competitors who offer a 1.6 hybrid petrol with, for a big SUV, a big crossover SUV. In fact, some crossover SUV bigger than this Ford Kuga. So there's some things a bit contradictory about that. But then on the bright side, Ford is not alone in making this mistake. Other car manufacturers have done the same error. Toyota in particular is known for doing this. They always like to offer massive engines with hybrid. My opinion of this Ford Kuga? My humble opinion is that I love it. I love this Ford Kuga, guys. This Ford Kuga is one of the most interesting Ford models of today's generation, primarily because it is the only crossover SUV, big crossover SUV, that Ford has here in the EU market at the moment. Ford does have the Ford Explorer, which they brought back to Europe, but it just didn't make any sense. It exists, they sell it, but it's a full-sized SUV. It's not really a crossover SUV, so there's something. It's got its own set of problems. But this is something more city-friendly, something more interesting, something that was built for the EU market. But now with that 2.5-liter engine, it is raising a bit of doubts. Is Ford losing confidence in its hybrid technology, or was Ford not really prepared for this? Ford was likely not really prepared for this, but there's a good chance that we will see massive improvements in the years to come. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run, everyone. And please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What is your thought of the Ford Kuga?